Is Bond a gentleman who is cultivated to become a killer, or was he a killer who was groomed to be a gentleman?
There's a question. I think it all kind of started early on, you know, the sort of the history of him, his sort of parents, where he was orphaned and he was sent away to school and the whole sort of deal. I think that those things that he learnt to survive when he was a child, let's say, if we're going to go down this road, and you obviously want to, he's a survivor, and he was surviving on his own from a very early age.
Right.
Probably then recruited from school because they saw somebody who obviously he must have had a slightly sadistic streak as a child, but I think that was about his survival, and I probably caught out and seen early on, and I think that made it, that was the skill they were looking for, and they tried to refine him. But I didn't really answer the question. I think there was a killer instinct in him. Yes.
Yeah. Because where I'd like to go from there is that he does have this emotional armor, and you've kind of touched upon it, like, why did he have that armor? But what is it about Vesper that finally strips him of it?
Well, I think what she does is she exposes her vulnerability.
Okay.
And I think that we have the sequence where in the stairwell where he exposes her to sort of kind of extreme violence.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, it's like he's in work mode. It's like, get on with it. You move, get out of the way. We've got to deal with this.
Yeah.
And he goes back after the game with this sort of breakdown, and he sees this woman who's been really hurt by it. And I think that kind of knocks him for six.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's ever considered it. And I think there was love at first sight.
Yeah.
If that's the truth of it. In this movie, there was love at first sight, and he was just in denial about it. Yeah. And that moment just, turns his head.
Right, because the great thing about the book and the film is that Bond, this is the first woman he just can't sleep with. He has to actually fall in love with her. He's denied his Walther PPK in his pants, and he has to actually get to know her as a person. I always love that about the story and in the film. But the novel ends with Bond making a declaration, basically, I'm going to go after the threat behind the threat. Is that a direction we can expect to see the next Bond films go in? Because there are rumors that, like, there's this, the film establishes that there's some sort of network, a shadowy network.
I don't know because we haven't actually discussed it and got it right yet. But that I think is on the cards. There's some impetus that we've got now, and he's going after the threat behind the threat.
Yeah,
he's going after the number one, and whoever that is or whatever that is, then we're going to find out.
So it might not be like Spectre or anything. It could be a whole new thing.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
Cool. When do you guys start filming that?
Well, if all going well, end of next year.
Okay. And do you have a director lined up yet?
Not just yet. We're kind of concentrating just getting this out.
Yeah,
first,
it's enough work just doing this.
Yeah.
Now you've also made a leap to another big franchise, Golden Compass. Now, what's it like working on that big franchise as opposed to Bond? Because that seems like
painful.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get hurt quite as much on that one. Well, it's great. I mean, and the first movie, I'm actually very. There's not an awful lot to do. It's a key part that comes out in the third book, which will be in the third movie if we get that far. And they're three of my favourite books. I mean, it's the trilogy as it stands. His Northern Lights are just, I highly recommend them.
Cool. So you're booked for like the next 6 years then, huh? Wow, man. That's great. Well, really, congratulations.
Thank you,
and you're a great Bond.
Thank you.